Welcome back, friends. This is Dr. Mlelwa Lecturers. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and to click the bell, then put all for more updates. To join our Telegram group for discussions, just click show more in the description. Then if you scroll down, you see the links for the O-level and the A-level group. Welcome back, friends. This is Advanced Biology Coordination, and today we have the session 30. The facilitator in this session, I am Dr. Mlelwa. My contacts are here. Also, some of my contacts, they are present in my Telegram group. You may contact me through WhatsApp or through Telegram. So, in the previous session, we discussed about the functions of synapse, and we discussed many details. So, if you didn't view the session, it's better for you to visit and to view the session. So, in this session, I will be discussing a little about the categories of neurotransmitters. So, firstly, neurotransmitters are substances which neurons use to communicate with one another, with their target tissues. So, with one another, with their target tissues in the process of synaptic transmission or neurotransmission. So, neurotransmitter ni molecule, ni chemical substance ambazo neurons zinatumia katika kuwasiliana kati ya neuron moja na mwingine au kati ya neuron moja na target tissues. So now neurotransmitter are synthesized and released from the nerve endings. Into the synaptic cleft. From there, neurotransmitters bind receptor protein in the cellular membrane of the target tissues. The target tissue gets excited, inhibited, or functionally modified in some other way. Sasa, the effect of neurotransmitter to the target tissues differs from one neurotransmitter to another, and also differs from one organ to another, depending on the nature of the organs which the neurotransmitter actually affects. But what you can say is that we have about more than 40 neurotransmitters in the human nervous system, and we can't discuss all of them in this lecture. Actually, this part of neurotransmitter, most of teachers, they don't teach it, kwa sababu kwa level yako ya advance hauwezi kufundishwa, hauwezi kaulizwa moja kwa moja kwenye mtihani kwamba maybe explain the neurotransmitters and what are they doing in the body. But actually what you can be asked is maybe to mention the different types of neurotransmitters, or to mention the types of neurotransmitters you know. But it's very important for you to understand this concept, because in your advanced level you are just learning the basics. You reach in the university, and if you take maybe medicine or pharmacy or even DDS, and most of the courses in university, if you take the health career, you will study physiology, and then in physiology it will be very difficult for you to understand some of the basic concepts, because you are not taught in the advanced level, and then in university they assume as if you are taught in the advanced level. So for me, in my notes and in my lectures, I have decided to include this part of the categories of neurotransmitter. So I will explain them in details, every neurotransmitter and its function or its effect in the body. And for some of neurotransmitter, I will explain even the disorders which can happen if the neurotransmitter is absent. So I will be learning, because this part is not such much important for your level, but I have taught it for the basics for you to understand things in your next levels of studies. So first is the acetylcholine. Acetylcholine, most known neurotransmitter. So it is an excitatory. First, for each neurotransmitter you should know, is it an excitatory or inhibitory? So neurotransmitter is an excitatory neurotransmitter secreted by the motor neurons that innervate muscle cell. It is secreted by motor neurons, innervate the muscle cell, basal ganglia, preganglionic neurons of autonomic nervous system, and the postganglionic neurons of parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system that innervates sweat glands. Sasa hapo unaweza usinielewe kwa sababu kule mwanzo to discuss parasympathetic na sympathetic. Kwenye sympathetic nervous system neurons zote postsynaptic neurons zote zina release nani? Noradrenaline au norepinephrine, except the sympathetic nervous system to the sweat gland. Sympathetic nervous system to sweat gland, they use acetylcholine. Only the sympathetic nervous system to the sweat gland. Lakini all preganglionic neurons they use acetylcholine. Na all postganglionic neurons the parasympathetic they use acetylcholine. So it is excitatory in all cases except in the heart where it is inhibitory. Na kama tulivyosema kule mwanzoni pia kwenye gut acetylcholine is also inhibitory. So in function acetylcholine is responsible for regulating sleep cycle, yani utawala sangapi utaamka sangapi, essential for muscle function. Kwa sababu sleep cycle is very important, or it is linked with the muscle functioning. The second function, it stimulates muscle contraction. The only except to this is where acetylcholine is an inhibitory neurotransmitter is at the parasympathetic end of the vagus nerve, and this inhibits the heart muscles through the cardiac plexus. Kwa hiyo at the parasympathetic end of the vagus nerve, huyu neurotransmitter acetylcholine anakuwa ni nani? Anakuwa ni inhibitory. Kama mfuatia vipindi vyangu vya nyuma, vagus nerve is cranial nerve number 10. Kwa hiyo we have 12 cranial nerve, but vagus nerve is the cranial nerve number 10, and it innervates the cardiac muscles of the heart. So pale ikiwa releasing neurotransmitter, it is inhibitory. Lakini pia acetylcholine play a vital role in normal functioning of muscles. For example, kama mtu akiwa anatumia poisonous plant, either kwa kujua au kutokujua, labda mtu amewekea kwenye chakula. For example, poisonous plants like cucumber and hemlock cause paralysis of muscles. How are they causing the paralysis of muscles? Simply by blocking the acetylcholine receptor of myocyte or muscles. Kwa ukiblock hizo acetylcholine receptor, manake muscle contraction haiwezi kutokea kwa sababu muscle contraction requires acetylcholine. So unaweza kuona acetylcholine inahusika na paralysis of muscles. Hapo tunaenda neurotransmitter wa pili, norepinephrine, inakuwa abbreviated in NE, also known as noradrenaline. NAD is an excitatory neurotransmitter. So this is also a excitatory neurotransmitter produced by brainstem, hypothalamus and the adrenal glands and released into the bloodstream. So you see, this neurotransmitter is produced by the three parts: brainstem, hypothalamus and the adrenal gland, and it is released into the bloodstream. So sometimes this noradrenaline it is considered as endocrine hormone, because the endocrine hormones, they are molecules which are produced by glands and then they are transported by the bloodstream to the targeted organs. So norepinephrine can be sometimes regarded as hormone and sometimes as a neurotransmitter. So in the brain it increases the levels of alertness and wakefulness, yani mtu kuwa mchangamfu. So if it is secreted by most postganglionic sympathetic nerves except those supplying the sweat gland. Kwa hiyo all sympathetic postsynaptic sympathetic nerve zina release nani? Noradrenaline au norepinephrine, ni ule mmoja, except zile zinazo supply nani? Sweat gland, kama nilivyokuambia kule mwanzoni kwenye acetylcholine. So kwenye sweat gland zina release nani? Acetylcholine. Kwenye function norepinephrine kwanza ni increase level of alertness and wakefulness, yani mtu kuwa mchangamfu au mtu kuwa yani active. And then ya pili stimulate various processes in the body. For example, it is very important in the endogenous production of epinephrine. Kwa manake norepinephrine na stimulate the production of epinephrine. Ya tatu, norepinephrine has been implicated in mood disorder such as depression and anxiety. So depression ni kama vile hali ya mtu kuwa na mawazo mengi, yani kama vile haelewi vitu vinaendaje, kuwa na mawazo mengi. na anxiety nao. Kwa hiyo hivyo vitu vyote vinatokana na norepinephrine kupungua. Norepinephrine ikipungua, mtu anakuwa kama vile umechoka muda wote. So in which case its concentration in the body is abnormally low. Alternatively, an abnormally high concentration, it may lead to impaired sleep cycle. Sasa ukiwa una norepinephrine nyingi, unakuwa haulali, kwa sababu norepinephrine inahusika na alertness and wakefulness. So high concentration of norepinephrine, unakuwa hauwezi kulala. So high concentration is not good and low concentration is not good. Now let's move to dopamine. DA is a neurotransmitter secreted by neurons of the substantia nigra. So dopamine, kama unavyoona hapo, hatujasema ni excitatory au inhibitory, because dopamine can act as both excitatory or inhibitory. So dopamine is considered as a special type of neurotransmitter because its effects are both excitatory and inhibitory, which effect depend on the type of receptor that dopamine binds to. Kwa hiyo inategemea baadhi ya neurons, dopamine inatengeneza nini excitatory effect, kwa hiyo kwenye baadhi ya neuron inatengeneza nini inhibitory effect. Lakini kama ulivyoona, dopamine inakuwa release na nani na substantia nigra. Kwa hiyo dopamine, kwanza function yake ya kwanza is the part of the extrapyramidal motor system which involves the basal ganglia. Dopamine is important for movement coordination by inhibiting unnecessary movement. Sasa some of the terminology hapa kwa hiyo inaweza kawa very important for you to understand, but we have the extrapyramidal motor system. Extrapyramidal motor system ina involve basal ganglia, na kazi yake hiyo extrapyramidal motor system ni katika control movement. Kwa katika control movement, dopamine is very important. Na tukiondoa dopamine, tutasababisha mtu awe kama mkono wake una shake, yani unakuwa kama ni kuandika, hauwezi kuandika clear. Kama ukaambiwa kuna one among the nose tip, ukiambiwa uguse pua yako hapo, unakuwa unashindwa, your hand is shaking. It is because of the dopamine. So in the pituitary gland also, dopamine, it inhibits the release of prolactin and stimulates the secretion of growth hormone. That is two functions of dopamine. In clinical notes or clinical conditions, dopamine deficiency is related to the destruction of substantia nigra, leads to Parkinson's disease. Kwa hiyo mtu akiwa hana dopamine anakuwa na kitu kinaitwa Parkinson's disease. For your level unaweza sielewi vizuri, lakini if you be taking the HES faculty in your university level, it will be very easy. So increase the activity of dopaminergic neurons contributes to pathophysiology of psychosocial disorders and schizophrenia. So drugs and alcohol abuse can temporarily increase the dopamine level in the blood, leading to confusion and the inability to focus. However, an appropriate secretion of dopamine in the bloodstream play a role in the motivation and the desire to complete a task. Kwa hiyo dopamine inahusika sana kwenye control mood, yani mtu kumkuta na fly au amechukia. So dopamine ikiwa secreted kwenye kiwango kinachotakiwa, inatengeneza motivation, mtu anakuwa motivated. Kwa maana hata mtu ukipewa kwa mfano zawadi, unakuta tu kwamba sasa ngoja, kwa sababu nimepewa zawadi, ngoja nifanye sana kazi, nisome sana. That is because of the release of the dopamine. So dopamine actually is very important, and dopamine can stimulate you to have the desire to complete the task, kwamba lazima nimalize. And then we have the I think this is the fourth. It is gamma aminobutyric acid. So it is very important, powerful inhibitory neurotransmitter produced by the neurons of the spinal cord, cerebellum, basal ganglia, and many areas of the cerebral cortex. And it is derived from glutamate. Glutamate is an amino acid, and then we are deriving the gamma aminobutyric acid, that is GABA. GABA is inhibitory, and most of time it is inhibitory in the brain. In terms of function, functions of GABA are closely related to mood and emotions, kama ambavyo tumeona kwenye dopamine. And it is the inhibitory neurotransmitter that acts as the brake to excitatory neurotransmitters. Thus, when it is abnormally low, this can lead to anxiety. Ko actually GABA ni kama vile inakuwa inashindana na dopamine most of time. Dopamine, or if not dopamine, it is glutamate. So functionality is widely distributed in the brain and plays a principal role in the reducing neural excitability throughout the nervous system. So in a reduce neural excitability, manake over excitability, kwamba tukitaka kustimulate neuron kwa kuzidi, this reduces. Also you have glutamate. Glutamate, the most powerful excitatory neurotransmitter. So you see, glutamate is used to produce GABA, but glutamate itself is the most powerful excitatory neurotransmitter of the central nervous system, which ensure homeostasis with the effect of GABA. It is secreted by neurons of the main of the sensory pathway entering central nervous system, as well as the cerebral cortex. In function of glutamate, glutamate is mostly common neurotransmitter in the central nervous system. It takes part in the regulation of the general excitability of the central nervous system. And actually, kama ambavyo tumesema kwamba inappropriate neurotransmitter inaweza kapelekea epilepsy ni kifafa, and cognitive and affective disorders. Kwa ni vitu kama hivyo. Then we have serotonin, that is 5-hydroxyl tryptopamine or 5-HT. It is an inhibitory neurotransmitter that has been found in the intimately involved in the emotion and mood. Kwa most of the neurotransmitter ambazo zinakuwa involved kwenye emotion na mood ni nani? Serotonin pamoja na nani? Na dopamine. Kwa hata ukienda ukauliza kwamba what kind of hormones wanaweza kapelekea depression, anger control, siyo mtu kwa umekasirika, and even suicide tendencies, mtu kujinyonga kufanya. Actually that is because of the serotonin and dopamine. Au ukiweza kuwa maintain vizuri, you have already maintained many things. Then you have histamine. Histamine is an excitatory neurotransmitter produced by the neurons of the hypothalamus and cells of the stomach mucosa, mast cell, and histamine actually inahusika katika inflammatory reaction. Histamine ndio inayokufanya wewe labda upige chafya, maana kama ukivuta hewa ambayo ina pathogens, hiyo hapo itaenda kusababisha the inflammatory reaction ambayo itakupelekea upige chafya ili utoe wale pathogens walioko ndani ya ile hewa. So in the central nervous system it is important for wakefulness, lakini ina regulate blood pressure, pain na sexual behavior. In the stomach it increases acidity, pia ina mediate inflammatory reaction. It is involved primarily in the inflammatory response as well as the range of other functions such as vasodilation and regulation of the immune response to foreign bodies. Our last but not least is epinephrine. Epinephrine actually its function, they are related to norepinephrine. So also known as adrenaline, it is the excitatory neurotransmitter produced by the chromaffin cells of the adrenal gland. It prepares the body for the fight or flight response. So epinephrine is very important for the sympathetic nervous system, lakini function zake zinafanana na nani? Norepinephrine. So the release of epinephrine increases heart rate, blood pressure, glucose production, kama vile ambavyo tu discuss the liver, glucose production by the liver through glycogenolysis or gluconeal synthesis. In this, nervous and endocrine system prepare the body for dangerous and extreme situation by increasing nutrient supply to key tissues. So that marks the end of this session, and in the next session we start discussing about the sensory receptors and their classification and even the properties. I am also very sorry for this session to be very long, but for this session, as I told you before, that Most of teachers, they don't teach this session, and most of teachers, they don't even ask in the exam. I have taught this for increasing your knowledge and expanding your range of answering questions of coordination. So in the next session, we'll be discussing about the sensory neurons, the sensory receptors, and we will understand what are the receptors, their classification, the properties, and we'll see about some of the few receptors when you're going to the almost near to the end of the topic of coordination. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and share the link for this video to your fellow students. Click the link in the description below to join my Telegram group. Thank you.